How are we doing, guys? Happy Saturday. Well, welcome to a new video, and what I'm going to talk about today is the 3 reasons, yes, the 3 reasons why HGV drivers, or why we are facing a HGV driver shortage in the UK today. So we're into January 2025. But pretty much the brunt of it since COVID, or the pandemic, shall we say, happened, it's never pretty much changed according to statistics. So what I'm going to cover today is a very short video on why the 3 reasons why HGV drivers do not work in the industry, why drivers are leaving, but most importantly, why there is, if there is, a driver shortage in the UK. When I say driver shortage, a HGV driver shortage in the UK, and why companies struggle to get good, reliable, committed drivers in and keep their drivers. Now what you see here, before we go any further, is just a bit of Google research. You can see here I've typed in HGV shortage 2025, and if I go back, I've typed in HGV shortage 2024, and it says here, yes, the UK is still facing a HGV driver shortage in 2024, though it's not as severe as it was during the pandemic. The average age of a HGV driver is 55, and more than half of drivers are approaching a retirement age. That's shocking statistics. If we move on to 2025, that I initially just showed you, the same comes up. Aging drivers over 55, between 50 and 65 years old, and many are retiring. The impact of Brexit continues to make it challenging to address the shortage. Now, the 3 reasons why there are that I've covered, the 3 reasons why there are a driver shortage in the UK with HGV drivers is because, number 1, the way HGV drivers are treated. Let's face it, HGV drivers are absolutely fed up. It's a tough job as it is, and can be very stressful and very long hours. And a lot of drivers that come into the industry are very excited and very committed to their job. Now, before we go any further, I just want to say that I've been doing this over 2 years now as a HGV driver since day one. I've actually been tramping, a HGV tramper, meaning I live in my lorry all week, Monday to Friday. Sometimes I'll do a run-in Saturday, so that's 6 days a week in my truck with unsociable hours, up to 71 hours per week, working long hours and very committed to my job. So I'm only going to speak on behalf of experience and what I actually know within the industry itself, and what I've learnt so far from my personal experience, my personal background, and from speaking to other drivers who I speak to on a regular basis on the road. The way drivers are treated, well, one of the reasons why we have a shortage is because a lot of drivers that do come into the industry actually don't last very long. So what do I mean by that? Eventually they come into the industry very excited, very upbeat, very can't wait to get going. It's a fantastic, it's exciting time. You start a new career, the money, you're looking forward to getting paid on a weekly basis or monthly basis, however you get paid. You're looking for, you'll be looking for that stability all your life. And one thing I'd say about being a driver is you do, yes, have stability for the rest of your life, and you can actually work into your 70s as well if you're in good health, of course, and the DVLA don't take or revoke your driving license. Happy days. But let's get down to nitty gritty of it. With this reason, the reason why a lot of drivers do leave due to this reason is because when they actually find their feet, or when they start the first few weeks of their job working for a company, they then realise and start to see the cracks that come through the woodworks, shall we say. Meaning, you don't get home at a reasonable time at the end of the week. You're not supposed to be staying out in your truck on a Friday night but you get caught out on the road for some reason, or your company you work for sends you God knows 200-300 miles away to get a job done, meaning you won't get back on a Friday, and the planners or the actual company itself did not speak to you sooner to let you know that, would you mind working on a Friday for me and doing a Saturday running for me for the overtime? If not, no problem. Realistically, a good company, I would say, will give you a ring on a Tuesday, Wednesday at the very latest, to ask you, would you mind doing a Friday night running or Saturday morning running for me, to see if you wanted to do the overtime. That's just one example. A good company would ask you, would you mind doing it for me? If not, they can plan around it, get someone else to do it, etc. Have a backup plan. That is what a transport planner does. They have a backup plan at all times, because on the road, as you know, with road haulage, it doesn't always go to plan. So when we talk about being treated as a driver, we're talking about respect as well. You know, the way some people, some companies, shall we say, now I can't speak on behalf of every single company, but this is going from me speaking to other drivers, from my personal experience in a number of companies, not including the company I work for now, because they treat me with utmost respect and I'm fairly happy where I am at the moment. But from past experience, the way drivers are spoken to, the way they're misled in many ways, and then drivers start, them cracks that come through, drivers start to see that what the planner or what the management are telling them is absolute BS. Because when you find out another driver, bearing in mind drivers speak, they find out from another driver, no, that's not true, he told me this, well, he's told me that. Oh, 2 and 2 make 4. Eventually, you start to lose trust in the company you work for, you leave, you think, sod this, I'm going to go and get a different job in a different industry and move on to better and bigger things, where companies are going to treat me with respect rather than just a number and a bum on a seat that means nothing to the company, as long as the company are making its money. That's one of the main reasons why drivers leave the industry and there's a driver shortage. Let's move on to number 2, the pay. The wages, which is the biggie, our pay. As HGV drivers, let's face it, the money is pretty attractive from time to time, depending on what line of work you actually go into. Now, in the HGV industry, whether you're a driver or not, if you're a driver, you know what I'm talking about. There are many ways to move into the HGV industry and many ways for you to earn money. If you specialise in a certain skill, such as ADR, or you go into HIAB and you specialise in a certain area, you can earn a fair bit of money, a bit more money than you would do in container work or general haulage, just like myself really. However, if you decide not to do that and you decide to be a driver and just deliver for supermarkets and that, and they get paid very well as well, don't get me wrong, depending on who you work for, that's your choice, of course. But let's face it, the majority of us that work in this industry get paid on a weekly basis. In the HGV industry, most companies pay weekly, unless you get paid monthly, which very little companies do, but unless you specifically ask for monthly, maybe that's different, the company may cater for you. But the majority of companies, 95% of HGV hauliers, road haulage companies, pay you on a weekly basis. Now, one of the reasons why drivers leave, and I left the company in the past based on this, is because let's take you for example, you're a tramper. You live in your lorry Monday to Friday. You're away from your family, you're away from your children, you're away from your loved ones all week. You work up to 70 hours per week. Let's give you about a round figure, between 60 and 70 hours per week. As a tramper, you'll definitely do that for sure. I can guarantee you that. But let's say you do between 60 and 70 hours per week. You are promised, for example, and I'm going to run off a bold sort of overall sort of round off number, if you like, you're told you would take home £850 per week on your contract. You work 65 hours that week. You get your night out money, which is night out money meaning you're sleeping in your cab. You might get a meal allowance, which is added bonus, added income to your money as well. And you know, you've got a flat rate, if you like, with your company, your contract that specifically says you get paid X, Y, and Z that week. So it tallies to about £850 per week. You may have other benefits with your company you work for, but I'm just giving you a sort of rough idea of how this money is added up as a tramper. If you're a European driver, that may differ as well. But anyway, on a Friday, you get paid by your company, and then you get paid £650, £700. You then ask the question, why am I £150 short? And then your office will say to you, oh, it's because of X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z could be a number of reasons. I don't know. I can't speak on behalf of other companies and what you get paid as well, what other companies pay their drivers. But I'm just giving you an idea. Pay. So some companies you go to, and I'll speak from experience, I was told that in one of the companies I worked for, I would take home £770 per week cash in my pocket after tax, national insurance. Turned out I was taking home £565 per week, and I was living in my lorry a week. That was a big red flag for me. I left that company, but I didn't leave the industry because I'm still in the industry now, doing this with you guys. So that's just to give you an idea from experience, I've personally experienced, another reason why people leave the industry. Let's move on to number 3, and this is a really big reason. Unsociable lifestyle. Unsociable lifestyle, meaning unsociable hours within the industry. Let's get straight to nitty gritty of it. Let's not beat around the bush and BS around this. Battery on the GoPro's gone, so we've come downstairs into a more comfortable environment, if you like, in the lounge. So to continue the last one. So we was currently talking about let's not beat around the bush with an unsociable lifestyle as a HGV driver. Now, let's make it very clear. If you do come into this industry, you will be working between 60-70 hours per week. So it's very important that you understand the discipline you need to be a HGV driver, especially if you become a tramper, where you spend all week out in your truck. You don't see your friends, you don't see your family. It is an unsociable environment to be in. The flip side to that is, if you do like your own company, you'll be absolutely fine, like me. If you like your own company, no problem at all. But if you're one that likes to be close to your family, close to your friends, day in, day out on a regular basis, not that I don't, but I'm just speaking from, experience and giving you an example. If you do like your own space from time to time, tramping and being a HGV driver may be right up your street. But this is mainly a huge reason why a lot of people do leave the industry. So before you do make a decision on whether you want your HGV license, have a good think, a good conscious decision on whether it's for you or not. Now, like I said, before we end this video, I'm not here to get you to change your mind about being a HGV driver. I'm not here to put you off becoming a HGV driver or joining the industry. What I'm trying to do today is give you 3 of my personal and what I think main reasons why people leave the industry, which has a knock-on effect to the reason why we have a shortage in this industry and why people don't come back to the industry. It's simple. If companies, the government maybe was to look after drivers and treat drivers a lot more respect, maybe pay drivers better, because it's a very important role what we play within the country itself, because without HGV drivers, the country comes to a standstill. We play a very, very important role in the industry, or should I say, for the country. And finally, if the unsociable hours were a little bit better, where you get a bit more work-life balance, shall we say, there'd be a huge difference there with regards to drivers' happiness as well, meaning keeps morale high and drivers will stay in the industry and stay committed to companies as well. Now, I do get home very quickly. I do get home during the week sometimes to see my family, to see my daughter, see my wife during the week as well. That's great, keeps my morale high, and my company can cater for that at the moment. But I know lots of people, lots of great drivers out there who really, really do love what they do for a living, have left the industry due to this. And I know 100% this is one of the main reasons why a lot of drivers leave as well. Not just the wages, not just the way they're treated, but this is a huge one coming from drivers' feedback. So on that note, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this very quick
vlog today. It was an important topic I wanted to share with you today. If you are a new driver, good luck with the future. Don't let this put you off, because it is very, very lucrative and can be a very, very great career to be involved with if you're committed. And one thing I'll leave you with is, it's what you make of it. It's what you make of it. It's what mindset you turn up with every single day when you wake up to go to work and you go on that road. So be safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Look after yourselves and your loved ones. Speak to you on the next one.